Making a move for Anthony Davis would be an absolute disaster for the Boston Celtics. They reportedly had interest in him around about last trade deadline before he got sent to the Mavericks in return for Luka Doncic. Now that the Mavericks are a dumpster fire, he could be available again, and here's why the Celtics should steer absolutely clear. So, Cody, my boy, man, what's going on?
Hey, another day in paradise, Adam. It's always a good day when I get the text to hop on with you, my friend.
Man, I saw the AD report. I was like, who better to talk about this with than Mr. Cody Shalafu? So Brett Siegel of Clutch Points popped up today. He put a little teaser out yesterday saying he'd been working on this for months, and his article's like wide ranging. The whole link to the article will be in the description of this video. But the bit that got me was obviously the bit about the Celtics having interest in trading for AD before he got flipped for Luka, before Nico Harrison made that move that ended, started a dumpster fire of a year before he ended up getting bounced from the Mavs himself. So I just want to put this up there. Of the teams that the Lakers spoke with when they were first putting out feelers for Davis, the Celtics had a couple of calls with the Lakers. Nothing ever progressed to where there was any actual momentum, but the Lakers were receiving signals that Brad and the front office were open to the idea of trading for AD. The 5-word message the Lakers got back from Boston was enough to let them know that they would consider such a move in the summer. Obviously, things changed. One, the Lakers didn't want to wait till the summer, so they moved AD for Luka. Two, JT blew out his Achilles heel, his Achilles tendon. And three, AD got hurt too, and then AD's obviously barely been healthy since moving over to Dallas. First things first, that move was an absolute cluster of a mistake by the Mavs.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Giving away the third best player, second best player in the league, who's like 25, 26, and just like ridiculous talent. Like this guy's gonna end up as a top 20 player ever if it keeps the pace he is, which is an ask. But even with, I think Ryan Russillo said it when everyone's like, do you give him the super max with all the defensive questions in his? He said Luka Doncic should be smoking a pack of cigarettes up the court. I'd give him every possible money I can, which is the only. And of course, they went and traded for Anthony Davis the way they did. That whole thing was a debacle, and I can't wait for the multiple documentaries that come out in like 10, 15 years about what actually happened during that. But yeah, it's interesting. I love Anthony Davis. I do. I always have. When I started getting into basketball, like really hardcore, and watched like college basketball, that was his freshman season at Kentucky. There hasn't been a better freshman season than I've ever seen. Like, he's an absolute stud. I'm surprised that he's never won an MVP at this point. He was that caliber of a player, but it's the health, and that's been his thing. Right now, today, it wouldn't make sense if he had never got traded, and then over the summer you approached it. Okay, maybe we could have seen a world where that worked. In 2019, when initially they tried to trade for him, this is not the first time we've seen Anthony Davis to the Celtics rumors. It would have made sense. But right now, it doesn't fit. Doesn't make any sense.
The problem is that's all we're going to hear about for about a week now is
Yeah.
AD to Boston trade rumors, because soon as it comes out that a team had interest in a guy before he got moved, they're usually one of the first teams to be linked back with him. Now, obviously, as you said, it could have been different over the summer. Maybe you try and flip KP for him. Maybe there's a deal built around Drew Holiday. They wanted a defensive-minded guard. You probably could have built a package around Drew, but then Marcus Smart never ends up in LA, or if he does, somebody else moves on. But the point being is those guys aren't there now, and there's a whole timeline reset going on. So the team are getting younger. They're trying to get younger and more athletic around Tatum and Brown. The tempo that we've been told they're playing at, obviously we're not seeing that much because of just the absolute inability to rebound and control the pace of the game. But the point being is Davis is the guy that you go for when you've got an aging roster and you're trying to get over the top. And I can understand people that will be like, hey, well, we want to get back to competing as quickly as possible, and Anthony Davis can help you do that. On paper, he can, but as we've just mentioned, the health issues do not provide the benefits that the paper tell you it will. I think that when you look at what he can do on the floor, there's no denying he'd just be a great fit with Tatum and Brown. I think it would actually be a really good fit, which is why Boston looked to make that move before he went to the Lakers. But overall, I just don't see any value now in trying to even approach that, not just because of the health, but also because he doesn't fit the timeline now. If they're getting younger and trying to build and find these athletic wings to put around JT and JB. Realistically, given AD's aversion to playing the 5, how's it going to work? Because he's not going to want to be at the 5 because he likes to be at the 4 with a rim protector next to him that can rotate over and take off some of those defensive responsibilities. So then you're going to have to play ridiculously big with JB at the 2, JT at the 3, AD at the 4, and then insert, even if it was Cater, right? Just Cater at the 5. Like it's not a viable strategy. Plus, it goes into the position of, well, how if you do bring in AD, where's the depth coming from? Because you're going to have about 70 to 80% of your cap space committed to those 3 guys.
I mean, first off, how the hell do you even do it? I mean, just looking at money, and again, I'm on Spotrac right now. That's really good with all the contract stuff. Anthony Davis today is making about $54 million. That's the cap hit, the apron salary, luxury tax money, all that. You have to match that. I think in the Celtics position, they have to match. They can't give up any money anywhere. So that would either be Jaylen Brown straight up, which he's making this year 57, or I think that may be the average of the actual contract, or if that's what he's making this year, regardless. It would have to be basically Jaylen Brown straight up, or maybe a couple more pieces, Tatum straight up, or a couple more pieces. Obviously, I don't think you do that, either of those. Or it would be, you'd have to go, the only plausible way to do it would be Derek White, Anthony Simons, and picks. It's the only way you could feasibly get it done. I mean, White's annual average is about 30. Simons right now is 25. So that brings you to 55. You still might have to throw another guy or 2 in there. So that's a Shireman or a Hugo or a, what does Hauser have? Hauser has a couple million. Oh no, this one. Hauser's at 11 million. So you could throw in like a Hauser, or like Pritchard, Simons, and White. It's like the only way you can do it. So like, what the hell is even the point?
But I'm actually working with the trade machine now as we're talking in real time.
Yeah, let me know if any of that's...
No, I mean, it's really tough because both teams are first apron teams. The Mavs are a second apron team, so they cannot take a penny more than what's going out back in terms of a deal, which makes it really tough because the Celtics don't exactly have any cap room, right? So yeah. I tried the first deal I tried was Derek White and Anthony Simons. That failed because the Mavs would be taking back almost $2 million. Then I tried to round it out by adding Daniel Gafford into the incoming for Boston. So it would be AD and Gafford with White, Simons, Hauser, and Shireman going out. But it's literally $100,000 more for Dallas coming in, and the deal dies. And if it's $100,000 less, the deal's going to die. It's going to be really tough to make that happen anyway. I think the first apron teams trading with second apron teams are tough. The only way the Mavericks would be able to bring back more money in and going out was if a deal bought them below the second apron, and then you can do that deal. But Boston just doesn't have the cap room to absorb so much additional money, and this is another reason why you have to ignore it, right? Is because when you look at it from a Celtic standpoint, you made all these moves in the summer to cut the salary and to drop below the second apron, and now all of a sudden you're going to go and trade for an injury-prone big man that's 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I remember reading LeBron saying he's the future of the Lakers, and the Lakers cut bait. They didn't want no more of that, and he was meant to be the guy that carried that franchise once LeBron was ready to retire, and LeBron wanted him to step into a leading role. It just didn't happen. Do you really want a Lakers cast-off with another year of injury on his belt that's going to run you $55 million? No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. There's a reason the report said the Celtics were talking to the Lakers and not the Celtics talking to the Mavericks, just because on the Lakers and last trade deadline, maybe it makes more sense. I will say this. I don't think it's like oh my God, the Lakers were... I think the Lakers found the dumbest man to be on this earth currently, and just a deal that you could not refuse. And yeah, every person makes that trade. Anthony Davis is a special talent. When he's playing, when he's healthy, what he does offensively, what he can do defensively, he is a ceiling raiser for any team he's on. And I know some people are sour about Anthony Davis, especially in the Celtics community, because of 2019 and what they did to Anthony Davis's dad is more of the villain here in the story. He's always been one of my favorite players, and it sucks he was on the Lakers. I couldn't really root for him as hard as I wanted to, but if you told me that Anthony Davis found his way to the Celtics, I'd love that. I'd buy a jersey tomorrow. I would, but right now it doesn't make sense. Now, could we talk about a world now if we were talking about this last January? Does it make more sense if you're in before this Luka trade went down and you were able to get Anthony Davis for a Drew Holiday plus at that time, or a Kristaps plus at that time? I'm not sure how those contracts would have worked out then, but do you do that? Is that if you replace basically if you have instead of Tatum, Brown, White, Holiday, Porzingis as your starting five, if you can make it Tatum, Brown, Davis, White plus Cornette, say, going into last year, is that a better team than the one before? I don't mind that swing. I don't mind that swing.
You see, I always saw Drew as the floor raiser on that team. I think he was the guy that really connected everything.
I think there's a difference there. I think a floor raiser and a ceiling raiser are different. I agree.
Yeah, but their ceiling was already a championship. Like, how much higher would you take? How much higher can the ceiling go?
The floor. That's super fair. Super fair.
I think that for me, like if you were doing a deal for AD, I don't think I would have been against it. His injury issues with the Lakers were bad. I mean, look, I'm just looking at it now. His first year with the team played 62 games during the regular season. That was back in 2019, 2020. That was obviously the COVID year where the Lakers won in the bubble. So, okay, cool. I think that was, 2020 was the COVID year, right? That was the bubble year. 2019, 2020 was bubble year. Yeah. So then after the bubble year, he played 36 regular season games the following season, 40 the season after that, 56 the season after that. So that was 3 years of just inconsistent Anthony Davis being at the rotation, coming back in, trying to work himself back to fitness, getting hurt again. Those 3 years to me are like a huge red flag because he was in his prime then, 27, 28, 29. So then you get him back to like full health at age 30, plays 76 regular season games. Last season, 31, plays 42 games for the Lakers, moves to the Mavs, 9 games in, he's out for the rest of the year. Right now he's coming on to 30. He's in his age 32 season, showing signs of injury again. Now, the only reason I'm even considering recording this video is because I know that AD to Boston is now going to become a talking point because the Celtics are in this weird spot where they're kind of too good to be where they are now all season long. There's been too many close games where if one shot had dropped or 2 shots had dropped, they'd be towards the top end of the East right now. And people will look at that and be like, well, AD solves the rebounding. He solves the defense. He gives you rim protection. There's so much that he gives you that maybe the Celtics would be smart to go and try and make this move, right? And I'm here to say, no, I think that would be a mistake. You're hitching your wagon to a horse that consistently stops on the way. Like, it's like, you ever play Red Dead?
I know I haven't played it, but I know.
Okay, so Red Dead, you've got everybody with a horse and carriage, and this is a horse that just stops midway through its journey and has a nap. It's like, now I'm done. I need to catch some Z's. That's what AD is at this point. He likes to take mid-season naps. By naps, I mean he just disappears for a few games at a time. I don't want to hitch a $54 million horse to $54 million to a horse that likes to nap a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: early in Anthony Davis's career, I was a big like, hey, the injury, because I think a lot of his injuries when he was coming up, it was weird stuff. It was like poked in the eye, rolled an ankle. Like, it wasn't like he blew his knee out. It was all these little minor things, and you sit there and go like, okay, well, if that just does, like, that's more luck than it is injury proneness. But now that he's 32, 33, these bad hamstrings or bad ankles or bad backs, it's not
back
like
that worries me.
Yeah, those things now it's piling up. So if this was a conversation 4 years ago, 100%, I wouldn't care about it. Like, again, he never had like a huge major injury that I remember. Like, he never had like an ACL. He never I think he maybe broke his hands. Like, other than that, I don't think he has like a super major one. I could be wrong, and please let us know in the comments if he has like a big surgery that he had or whatever. But I don't remember. I think that all the stuff was like he's not playing, but it was, and I think the reason was like, well, this is just a minor thing. You should be playing through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just can't, like, you just physically can't make this trade. So
See, I was right there with you when you said that, like, if this was last year and this was a genuine conversation and it had became mainstream discussion, like if it had leaked, yeah, I can 100% be talked into adding AD to last year's team in a run for a championship to repeat, right? 100%. Like you just said, it cannot be made this year. Forget all the finances and the difficulties in matching salaries, because these guys have some math wizards on their payrolls, right? They've got some rain men in every front office that figure a way to make it work. If they wanted it done, it would get done. I think that the bigger issue is, as you've kind of alluded to, is he's on the decline now, or he's at the very end of his prime. So whatever Boston gets, you might get one good year in terms of like him at his very, very, very best. And then that like slow decline downwards will start to begin. I just think that, again, when you're a retooling team and you're trying to find these young guys that you can develop into stars that can complement what JT and JB do, adding a guy in now that's, you kind of need a Zimmer frame around him at all times because of how his back is. And sometimes he's going to need to like hunch over and like take slow steps. Like, I'm not for it, dude. Just not there. No, not in on it at all.
I will say, just to add on the Sports Rack site, they just have all his transaction history. And the first thing is, I'm just reading the Luka trade back. And how the fuck how did this go through? This is the dumbest trade in the history of sports.
I genuinely believe Nico and Pelinka played a poker game, and Nico ran out of chips and was like, yo, I've got a straight or something. It was like, I can't lose. I bet you I'll trade you Luka if I lose this hand. And then Pelinka pulls out like a royal flush. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
The only thing that makes sense is that Nico's like, hey, I'll give you this because I like you, and you'll give me money on the side that no one will find out until Netflix a documentary in like 2.
Or Adam Silver turned around and was like, right, I want Luka in LA because LeBron's getting old. You get Cooper Flag in return.
Yeah, I need Pablo Torre falling around.
His effort's in the wrong place right now. Like, okay, you've exposed Kawhi. Like, you've done your thing with Kawhi. Move on, dude. Go and, like, you've got beef with Cuban anyway. Cuban's been giving you some hard times. I know he's not really, like, he's not the owner of the Mavs anymore, but he cares about them. Go fishing.
Yeah.
Tell me what you find. Yeah. But yeah, I think overall, though, I think we're both agreed that saying no to Anthony Davis in 2025 for the Celtics.
2025 Anthony Davis, I'm all set for. 2019 Anthony Davis, there's a conversation. Even at the trade deadline this year, if he hadn't gone to the Mavericks and it could have been done, I would have advocated for it. I'm okay. You just won a championship. Go make another swing to give yourself another player who's under contract for longer and maybe do that game. But now you physically can't do it. It's just almost impossible to do it. And even like you said, they'll get it done. But like, do you have enough players on your roster after you'd have to trade the whole roster if they have to throw in Cooper Flag, I guess. But no, obviously joking.
I think the thing is, though, looking at the Mavericks, I would be 100% down to go after Daniel Gafford.
Oh yeah,
I think he sells a bunch, right?
They have to sell everything.
You need to get the vultures out. The vultures are going to be taking their pick on that Mavericks team, and as much as AD is going to be the guy linked, I think Daniel Gafford is a guy you could look at.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling Joe Mazzulla is going to be like, go get me Clay, and I think that's a mistake because Clay's playing bad at the moment. But
I will. Okay, so if I have to have Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion dating players of my favorite team, I don't know if I can personally handle that because I should be with.
Diggs plays for the Pats, right?
Yeah, her boo things on, and like I should be with both of them. Honestly, for being real, I'd be a fantastic part. And like I can't like they'll be so close to me, I can't handle it. So maybe not, but no, it depends on what you look at the roster.
Wasn't Megan Thee Stallion dating who did they sign last year? Before she got with Clay, who was that guy they picked? I forgot his name now. They picked him up in the on the buyout market from the Bulls.
I couldn't tell you. I probably hate him though.
Yeah, she was dating Torrey Craig when he joined the Celtics.
Oh, really?
So you already had both of them close to you, dude.
Damn, that's crazy.
So then she got rid of Torrey Craig and she was like, Clay Thompson spends a lot of time on boats. Everybody wants a boat. So she was like, let me go.
Let me drive the boat.
Let me try the boat. So unfortunately, dude, I don't think you're in the tax bracket to be
Oh, definitely not. But what I can be is a good listener. I'm a really good You can call me anytime.
Why don't you just go down what The Rock said and just say you want to be a house pet?
I could. If they asked me, I'd leave everyone I know. I wouldn't talk to anyone if they're like, you can't talk to Adam again. Adam, I never talk to you again.
Your girlfriend's not in the house, is she?
Yeah, no, she's not. I did check. I'm looking out the window. No, big love.
With that, before we descend into debauchery, everybody, it's a no on Anthony Davis for all the reasons we just said. If you disagree, that's what the comment section is for. Let us know. We'll catch you soon. Deuces.